Welcome, Charles, to NQA. Obviously we're here to talk about the changes between the new ISO 45000 document and the current progress of that and the existing OHSAS. Could you explain to us the intended aims and strategic objectives of the new ISO document?
We're really taking this opportunity to modernise the standard, to see how we can give greater value to organisations using it, really from treating the system as a management tool rather than a bureaucratic process that they have to go through. And we're looking at improving the clarity of the requirements in order to aid companies in applying them.
Can you please explain the current differences between the new ISO 45000 and the existing OHSAS 18001?
The standard now is a much more risk-based focus for the whole system rather than just health and safety hazards. It applies a new clause sequence for the requirements. This is following ISO's template for management system standards that we refer to as Annex SL. And it also has a guidance annex which is really similar to the current OHSAS 18002. One point that comes out of the Annex SL template is a new clause called Context of the Organisation. People are a bit concerned about this, but it's really linking the system to the organisation's business environment and its strategies for health and safety performance in order to give greater focus for management on using the system as a business tool.
So Charles, why are there no mandated procedures within the new proposed ISO 45001 document?
I mentioned that we're taking a risk-based approach to the drafting of the standard. Documented procedures, in fact, are a risk control mechanism, and we felt it would be overly prescriptive for the standard to specify when they're needed. This doesn't mean that companies should throw away their procedures, but they should think about, do they really need them, and where do they need them, and how best to apply them.
So Charles, what would be your advice to existing OHSAS 18001 clients and those clients who may be thinking about introducing OHSAS 18001?
For existing users, I'd advise them to get a copy of the draft, examine the changes, do a gap analysis against their current system, and start planning their own transition towards using the new standard. There's still quite a lot of time available before we expect it to be published. For companies not currently using 18001 or 45001, I would advise to start using 18001 at the moment. The benefits from doing so are significant. We know that there are, for example, reductions in insurance premiums, reductions in man days wasted due to people being hurt or off sick. There are lots of benefits to be derived from starting now and not waiting until this new ISO standard is finally published.
So Charles, what's the current introduction timeline for the ISO 45001?
We're expecting to achieve what we call the draft international standard around about the end of the first quarter of next year, and the eventual publication is targeted for sort of mid to late 2016.
Thank you, Charles, for your time in answering many of the questions that a lot of health and safety professionals may have out there at this moment in time.
My pleasure.